Hello, friends, this is the second part of the video about numbers don't lie, how I fought back against bullies and found myself enjoy the video. Just when I thought things couldn't get any worse, someone new showed up in my life. His name was Mr. Bennett, and he was the new math teacher. At first, he didn't seem like much, tall, wiry, with glasses that made him look like a cross between a librarian and a mad scientist. Math had always been my safe place, so I was naturally curious about him. On his first day, he walked into the classroom, scanned the room, and said, "Numbers don't lie. People do. Let's focus on what's real." That line stuck with me. About a week later, he handed back our first quizzes. I'd gotten a perfect score, like usual, but this time there was a note scribbled in the margin. "See me after class." I spent the rest of the period sweating, convinced I was in trouble for something. When the bell rang, I shuffled up to his desk. "Jake, right?" he said, without looking up from his stack of papers. Yeah," I mumbled. "You're good at this," he said, tapping my quiz. "Really good. Ever thought about joining the math team?" I snorted before I could stop myself. "Yeah, because that'd totally make me more popular." He raised an eyebrow. "Who said anything about popularity?" "I'm talking about potential. Raw talent. You've got it, but you're wasting it by sitting in the back, trying to blend in." I didn't know what to say. No teacher had ever talked to me like that before. Like I mattered. "I'll make you a deal," he said. "Try it for a week. If you hate it, I'll never bug you about it again." I wanted to say no. I really did. But something about the way he looked at me, like he actually believed I could do something great, made me agree. That's how I found myself walking into my first math team meeting the following week. Joining the math team turned out to be interesting. At first, I felt like a total outsider. The other kids on the team, Liam, Priya, and Melissa, were all super sharp and way more confident than I was. But Mr. Bennett made sure I felt included, always asking for my input and encouraging me to take the lead on problems. A few weeks in, the team qualified for a regional math competition. Mr. Bennett was ecstatic, and honestly, I was too. It felt good to be part of something where my brain actually mattered. The conference itself was held in a big auditorium downtown. I was nervous but excited. It was the first time in months that I'd felt like I had something to look forward to. But, of course, Ryan and his crew found a way to ruin it. I didn't even know they were there at first. Apparently, they were volunteering as part of some school community service thing. I spotted them during lunch, and my stomach dropped. Ryan, Chad, Jared, and Matt were all hanging around the food tables, laughing and shoving each other like they owned the place. I tried to avoid them, but no such luck. As I was carrying a tray of sandwiches back to my team, Ryan stepped right into my path. "Hey, Spaceboy. What are you doing here? Calculating the trajectory to planet Loser?" I ignored him and tried to walk around, but he grabbed the edge of my tray and tipped it, sending sandwiches flying everywhere. "Oops," he said, smirking. "Better call NASA for cleanup." The room went quiet, and I could feel everyone staring. My face burned, and I could barely hold back tears. That's when someone unexpected stepped in. It was Melissa, one of my teammates. She marched right up to Ryan and said, "Wow, Ryan. Picking on someone at a math conference? You must be really insecure." The look on Ryan's face was priceless. He stammered something about just joking, but Melissa cut him off. "No, you weren't. You were being a jerk. Now, unless you want to explain to the conference director why you're harassing participants, I suggest you leave." Ryan glared at her, then at me, before muttering something under his breath and walking off. Afterward, Melissa helped me pick up the sandwiches and said, "Don't let idiots like him get to you. You're better than that." That moment hit me hard. For the first time, someone outside my family or Mr. Bennett had stood up for me. It felt powerful. Later that day, during the final round of the competition, I crushed it. We had to solve a series of logic problems under a time limit, and for once, my brain didn't freeze up. I focused, worked through the puzzles, and helped lead our team to victory. When they called our names as the winners, the whole auditorium erupted into applause. I caught a glimpse of Ryan in the back, looking annoyed, and it felt amazing. After the conference, Mr. Bennett pulled me aside. "You're starting to see it now, aren't you?" he said. "See what?" "What you're capable of," he replied. "Jake, you've got the potential to do incredible things, not just in math, but in life. You've just got to stop letting people like Ryan define you." Melissa chimed in, walking over with a grin. "And maybe work on your confidence a bit. Seriously, you were awesome today." Between the two of them, something shifted in me. I wasn't fixed overnight or anything, but for the first time, I started to believe that maybe, just maybe, I wasn't as worthless as Ryan made me feel. Just when things started looking up, someone new entered the picture: Tyler. Tyler wasn't like Ryan and his crew. He wasn't loud or obnoxious, and he didn't pull juvenile stunts like spilling trays or yanking gym shorts. No, Tyler was worse. He was subtle, manipulative, and dangerous in ways Ryan couldn't even dream of. He joined our school about a month after the math competition. Tall, good-looking, and charming, Tyler seemed like the kind of guy who could be friends with anyone. But there was something about him that felt off. He had this way of smiling at you that didn't quite reach his eyes, like he was sizing you up. At first, I thought he didn't even notice me. But that changed the day he joined the chess club. Chess was my other escape, the one place where I felt completely in control. So, when Tyler walked in, all confident and self-assured, I felt an immediate sense of unease. "Hey, Jake, right?" he said, sitting across from me. "Heard you're the guy to beat." I shrugged, trying to play it cool. "I guess. Let's find out," he said, setting up the board. To my surprise, he was good. Really good. But after a tense 30 minutes, I managed to checkmate him. "Nice game," I said, offering my hand. Tyler shook it, but there was something cold in his grip. "Yeah, nice game," he said, his voice calm. "You're better than I expected." It wasn't until the next day that I realized Tyler had started spreading rumors about me. "Did you hear Jake cheated at the chess game yesterday?" someone whispered in the hallway. "Yeah, Tyler said he caught him using some app on his phone to get moves." The rumors spread like wildfire. Suddenly, my small victories math team, chess club, felt tainted. People started giving me weird looks again, and some even accused me outright of cheating. "Why would you do that?" Melissa asked me one afternoon, her voice full of disappointment. "I didn't," I said, my chest tightening. "Tyler's lying." But Tyler was smart. He never outright accused me of anything, he just planted the seeds and let them grow. Whenever I confronted him, he'd smile and say, "Relax, man. People are just looking for drama. It's not my fault they're talking." Worse, he started getting close to Emily. They'd walk down the hall together, laughing and talking like they'd been friends forever. It hurt in ways I couldn't describe. For a while, I felt like I was back at square one, isolated, powerless, and trapped in someone else's game. But this time, I wasn't going to let it slide. Tyler's mind games went on for weeks, and the toll was enormous. The chess rumors were just the beginning. He started dropping comments in passing, little things that made people question my integrity or my abilities. "Jake's good at math," he said to Priya one day, loud enough for me to hear. "But isn't it weird how he always seems to have the answers right away? Like, almost too fast." At first, I thought no one would believe him. But as the rumors grew, I noticed people looking at me differently, even my teammates. Liam stopped asking for my input during practice, and Priya avoided sitting next to me. The final straw came during a math team meeting. We were reviewing strategies for an upcoming competition, and Mr. Bennett asked me to solve a problem on the whiteboard. As I worked through the equation, Tyler leaned over to Melissa and whispered something. She frowned, glancing at me, and then raised her hand. "Mr. Bennett," she said, "can we double-check Jake's solution? Just to be sure it's, accurate?" The room went silent. My face burned as everyone turned to look at me. "Melissa," Mr. Bennett said firmly, "I trust Jake's work. But if you'd like to verify it, be my guest." Melissa hesitated, then shook her head. No, it's fine. I finished the problem, but the damage was done. I could feel the doubt hanging in the air, like a thick fog I couldn't escape. That night, I stayed up late, staring at the ceiling and replaying the day's events in my head. Tyler was winning. He wasn't just ruining my reputation, he was making me doubt myself. But then I remembered something Mr. Bennett had said after the math conference. Numbers don't lie. People do. I decided that if Tyler wanted a game, I'd give him one. But I wasn't going to play by his rules anymore. That night, I came up with a plan. It wasn't easy. Tyler was smart, and he'd been careful not to leave any obvious proof of his manipulation. But if numbers don't lie, I figured there had to be a way to expose him using cold, hard facts. The first step was rebuilding some of the trust I'd lost with my teammates. I started spending extra time practicing problems and working on strategies with them, even if it meant staying late after school. I made sure my solutions were flawless, and I went out of my way to share my thought process, so they could see there was nothing shady about my work. Mr. Bennett noticed. One day after practice, he pulled me aside. "You've been putting in a lot of effort lately," he said. "Everything okay?" I hesitated, then decided to come clean. "It's Tyler," I said. "He's been spreading rumors, and people are starting to believe him. I want to prove he's lying, but I don't know how." Mr. Bennett frowned, his face hardening. "Jake, I had a feeling something was going on. Tyler's a manipulator, he thrives on chaos. But you're right. Facts are your best weapon. Let's figure this out together." With Mr. Bennett's help, I started gathering evidence. I kept a notebook documenting every incident, every rumor, and every time Tyler tried to undermine me. I also began watching him closely during chess club and other school events, noting patterns in his behavior. Melissa, to my surprise, turned out to be an unexpected ally. After a particularly tense practice, she approached me. "Hey, I owe you an apology," she said, looking genuinely regretful. "I shouldn't have doubted you. Tyler's been saying some weird stuff about you, but the more I think about it, the more it doesn't add up." "It's okay," I said, relieved to have someone on my side. "Honestly, I need all the help I can get." From that point on, Melissa and Mr. Bennett became my support system. Together, we worked on a plan to expose Tyler for who he really was. Thank you very much for watching. Please support me by subscribing with a like and of course write a comment. Thank you and see you in another video.